You can do everything right, every rule followed, every form filed, every canvasser trained, every signature witnessed, every deadline hit, and you can still hear the words, not successful. Last month, nearly 200,000 Albertans signed a petition to stop new coal mining in the eastern slopes of the Rockies. Ranchers, irrigators, musicians, coffee shop regulars, grandparents, university students standing in line between classes. The law said they needed just over 177,000 verified signatures. They came in at roughly 172,000. Many love either or, win or lose, pass or fail, gold medal or nothing. It's clean, it's simple, it fits on a scoreboard. But most of the world doesn't actually run on either or, it runs on both and. And I don't just mean the problem here was both this and that. I mean the solution should have been both this and that too. Hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it. Here's the part that should bother every one of us, whether we care about coal or not. Because this isn't really a story about coal, it's a story about measurement. That number, 172,088, wasn't a head count. It was a statistical estimate produced with what's called a 95% confidence level. In plain terms, Elections Alberta didn't verify every signature by hand. They sampled, and they extrapolated, and they landed on a number with a margin of error. And then they used that number to make a hard binary decision: pass or fail, in or out, yes or no. That's a mistake I see inside organizations constantly. It's what happens when a team mistakes the measurement for the truth. A survey with a margin of error gets treated like a fact. A forecast gets treated like a guarantee. An estimate becomes destiny, and real human effort, real hours, real belief gets discarded because a number that was always fuzzy got rounded down to no. But here, it wasn't only a measurement problem. It was a political one too. And the two are connected. Partway through this process, the government changed the electoral legislation governing it, forcing the organizers to reapply and start over under new terms. When the people who write the rules also have a stake in the outcome, and they change the rules while the game is still being played, you don't just get a technical failure, you get a credibility failure. The proponents had to refile, recanvass, rebuild under a moving target they didn't set and couldn't appeal. If you've ever led a change initiative and had leadership quietly redefine success 3/4 of the way through the project, you know exactly what that does to a team's trust. It doesn't just cost you time, it costs you belief in the process itself. Corb Lund, the man who led the petition, put it plainly. In his words, it had been an unreasonable and opaque process from the beginning. That's not a talking point. That's a diagnosis every change leader should recognize on site. I'm not here to tell you what to think about coal mining in the Rockies. That's not my lane. But I am here to tell you, when you build a change process, any process, a petition, a merger, a policy rollout, a reorg, and you hide the margin of error, and you move the finish line while people are still running toward it, you don't just risk losing the vote. You risk losing the people who showed up. Here's the both and I keep coming back to. Hold the standard and honor the effort. A recount, an independent audit, a short window to close a fuzzy gap. None of that erases a real threshold. It just treats thousands of hours of real human effort as worth a second look before you slam the door shut on it. In change work, I call this a paradox mindset. Smith and Lewis define the paradox mindset as holding two opposing thoughts at the same time, without picking one and dropping the other. Think about a door. At the same time, a door is both an entrance and an exit, depending on which way you're facing. Keep the bar and honor the effort. Both true at the same time. That's not soft thinking. That's the harder, better thinking. This is simple rule 2. The world is a both-and place. As Yogi Berra would tell us, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. The real choice here should not have been pass or fail. It ought to have been both. Keep the bar and find a way to honor the many people who showed up to clear it. I'm Dr. Change. I'll see you next time.